Hello everyone, I'm FMZ and welcome to another episode of Squad Overview. This time we are taking a look at RB Leipzig and seeing if they've got the manpower to challenge Bayern Munich at the top of the Bundesliga. Don't forget, if you enjoy this content, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to click that notification bell to know when a new video goes up on the channel, and don't forget to leave me a comment if you've got anything to say or if you've got any suggestions for teams for me to look at. Let's dive in, shall we? Now, before we get going, it's worth mentioning we are using the FM21 database for this, but we have updated it to the end of the transfer window, so all the players that you see here are the players that will start FM22 with. And Leipzig have an issue, I think, in the goalkeeping department. Peter Galassi obviously is the Hungarian #1 and is the best goalkeeper at the club, frankly. You have Philip Teixeira and Joseph Martinez. They are his two backups, but they are not of high quality. So a goalkeeper and a backup goalkeeper particularly is a must, I believe, for you. There's a few coming through the academy, but they're essentially not going to be good enough going forward. There was a lot of changes at the heart of the Leipzig defence. At fullback, it's not really changed that much. So you've got Nuri Mekele. He will probably be one of your first choice ones, although he can play at centre half as well. Benjamin Heinrichs is another good one. Konrad Lamea, he's another good right back. Lucas Klosterman can play either side of the defence, and Tyler Adams can also play at right back, but he's probably better off in midfield. So there are a few options there for you. I don't think necessarily to start with you need to look at right back. There are other positions in the squad that need strengthening more urgently. On the left-hand side as well, you've got a lot of variety. You've got a few players who can play on the right and the left. That's always good to have that. Marcel Holsenberg is a good left back. Josef Guarilo is the one that they're really raving about in Germany. Angelino, obviously, he come in from Manchester City on loan and has now been signed permanently. Marcelo Saric is another good one. So yeah, you have a lot of options at left back. As you do at right back, as I've mentioned, there's a lot of players that can play on the left and the right, and that's always good to have a bit of variety. It's in the central area where there's been the most upheaval for Leipzig. They've lost two big centre halves in Upamecano and Canance, going for Bayern Munich and Liverpool respectively. They've replaced them with Mohamed Sakamin, and he's a good-looking centre-half. Obviously, Will Orban is still at the club. He will be the leader in the dressing room. Mekele, we've mentioned already, he can play centre-half, and I think you're probably better off leaving him as a centre-half. He's much better than he is at right-back. But other than that, at centre-half, you are probably going to need to go out and buy another one, because the youth players coming through, they're not that great in this position. Moving into defensive midfield, and you've got a couple of options here. Players that we haven't mentioned already. Amdou Haidara is a great central midfield player, and Ilak Morabar, they have bought him in from Barcelona. And a good prospect is he. Depends what formation you're going to play, really. I think 4-2-3-1 suits Leipzig down to the ground. So these are a couple of options. Obviously, Tyler Adams and Konrad Lamea can also play in this position. And they're joined by lots of other players who can play in centre midfield. Kevin Campbell is a good one. Christopher Nkuni is another good one. Danny Almo, Dominic Sabelkal is another good centre midfield player. They have a lot of good talent in that area of the park. And obviously a couple of these guys can play further forward. Danny Almo in particular will be one that you'll probably look to play further forward. Few options in the wide areas as well. Emil Forsberg is a good attacking midfield player. He likes to get up and down the pitch and can score goals as well. Yusuf Poulsen can play out on that right-hand side and can play down the centre as a striker. Obviously, you've got lots of players out on loan. He Chang Wang is the big one who went to Wolves in the summer on loan. And Adamel Lukman is back in the Premier League with Leicester. So you might look to bring in a player who can play in the wide positions just to try and bulk out the squad a little bit, but you do have some good options initially. And you might need to take a look at something in the striking department as well. Andre Silva has joined the club from Eintracht Frankfurt. Soloff has gone out on loan. He was with the club last season, and he was a good striker, to be fair, with Brian Bobery being the other striker that they've brought in from the Ajax Under-23 Academy. So yeah, there are a few positions in this squad that definitely need to take a look at if Leipzig are going to challenge. And it'll be interesting to see how many people take on the Leipzig challenge this year. Obviously, Bayern Munich have dominated German football for so long now. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund are on their way back and are potentially going to be the big challengers for Bayern. Can you get RB Leipzig into that conversation as well? I will be interested to see what happens there. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed today's video, please leave a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and would like to do so, please click that subscribe button down in the corner. Don't forget, if you've got any comments or teams you want me to take a look at, please leave them below. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.